everybody. Heather here with Dwell Denver Real Estate with this week's market update. This week is a follow-up, really, to last week's market update in which we discussed reasons that we're in a micro market right now in the context of a larger seller's market. We're actually experiencing market conditions that are favoring buyers quite a bit more than we have over the last many years. Now, having said that, what I hear a lot from people and what today's market update is about is really the number one reason the seller's market is slowing down. So you may have heard a couple of these reasons. Perhaps you've heard people say, or said it yourself, that the bubble is bursting. Perhaps you've heard people say that, well, with interest rates rising, surely that is going to slow down the rate at which these prices are going up and how many of these houses are getting sold. And you may also have heard that there's a lot more inventory on the market right now, and that's a huge sign that our seller's market is coming to a close. And those are all very reasonable assumptions to make. And I also hear them so often that I know that people have good reasons for making these assumptions. And what I can tell you is that there is one major reason right now that our seller's market is slowing down, and it's actually none of those reasons. The reason it's slowing down is because it's seasonal. We have had the exact same slowdown over the last 6 years. And there are lots of graphs and statistics to prove it, and we'll probably put some on the blog. But the important thing for you to know if you're watching this is that every year in Denver, for the last 6 years, we have had a very predictable group of buyers that come in between January and March, and they begin looking for houses. And for a variety of reasons, there just isn't a lot of inventory on the market. So what happens are these quantum jumps in prices from when the buyers come on, which is usually March, January sometimes, February, and it ends around May or June. Now here's the interesting thing about what's happened in the last 6 years. Every year, the time that the buyers come on gets a little earlier in the year, and the time they stay in the market and buy actually also gets a little earlier. So what happens is we have these earlier peaks to both, to rising prices and the highest point of price of the year, which is never at the end. Our highest average price point of the year has been between April and June over the last 6 years. And every year it's been moving backwards to coincide with how many buyers are in the market. So that's a lot of numbers, right? Well, what does it mean to you? What it really means is that it's important to remember that we're not in a bubble, because in order to have a bubble, we need both rising house prices and rising inventory. And we just don't have that right now. What we have are rising home prices and falling inventory, even though right now, in this small moment in time, it's a great time for buyers to buy because sellers have put their houses on the market and buyers have dropped out of the market. They've either purchased or said, to heck with it, we're tired, we're gonna wait till next year, next spring, ironically, which will mean once again they are in the throes of these bidding wars that go on. Also, rising interest rates, it's valid and true that that may have some effect. It's probably not going to be the be-all, end-all of our seller's market because essentially we're still in historically low interest rates. If you look over our decades of history with interest rates, going from 4.5 or 4.75 up to 5, it's not that big of a deal. Thirdly, the most important thing to know about the amount of inventory that we have on the market right now is it's gonna go away. It's gonna sell out, unless sellers will put their houses on the market between now and December. And what will happen in January is that the buyers will come on, especially if there is a small interest rate hike. That scares people, and they will get back into the market and they will start to buy up everything that's out there. So if you wanna know, why we're having, this great seller's market that we're in, but also why it slowed down a little bit right now, it's just seasonal. It's not chronic, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. So So if you have any questions about this, feel free to call me or email me, get in touch with me. We can talk about this. I can provide you with all the statistics that I get from an outside independent firm, and we can talk about all the information. Take care.